everyone, it's Bretta from RunForFoot.com, and today I'm going to be reviewing a more winter trail running appropriate minimalist shoe for forefoot running, and that is the Vibram 5-finger Spyridon MR Elite. And I'm going to discuss what wear testers think about these shoes. But as always, I'm going to do my little introduction on the relevance and importance of barefoot-inspired footwear for forefoot running, and how the benefits of these shoes far exceed any cost to them. In fact, there are no costs in terms of getting hurt when running in barefoot-inspired footwear because barefoot running shoes don't endanger your running style like traditional footwear does. There is a silver bullet for preventing running-related injuries, and that is by being able to directly feel the ground when you run. When you take a more barefooted approach to running, you are more able to adapt to the high impact, quote-unquote, the high impact of running. By constantly being aware of where and how you step during running, wearing barefoot-like minimalist shoes or running barefoot builds the capacity to develop a more enhanced forefoot strike running style, which secures you from high-impact landings and getting injured. When you connect better with the ground, you respond better and recover quicker from vigorous training sessions, particularly rugged trail running sessions. Because I now finally run injury-free, I am convinced that barefoot running shoes work. This is because barefoot running shoes, like the Vibram 5-fingers, don't challenge your biomechanics in the way that traditional running shoes do, and instead help you better coordinate your next move when you run and walk. In barefoot running shoes, your feet receive plenty of sensory information that in many cases prompts immediate and positive changes in biomechanics, particularly transitioning from heel strike to a less forceful forefoot strike landing while running, giving you more of an incentive to avoid running in traditional running shoes. Because sensory information is blurred in traditional running shoes makes it challenging to engage effectively and safely with the ground when you run. The lack of ground feel at the feet in traditional athletic footwear encourages foot, ankle, and knee joint position errors during running. This is why heavily cushioned motion control running shoes are unsustainable for running, because they place limits on safe biomechanics and sensory feedback. You are less susceptible to biomechanical corruption if you run the trails in more minimalistically designed running shoes like the Vibram 5-finger Spyridon MR Elites, because you learn how to run properly by adaptively choosing a forefoot strike landing over a heel strike landing. Landing accordingly to how you feel the ground is one of the safest measures you can take to learn to land less aggressively, less intensive with the ground. The ability to feel and connect safely with the ground when you run will be your strongest asset, not only when you run on the roads, but when you run obstacle course races. When it comes to choosing the best shoe for obstacle course mud races, the challenge is finding the optimal balance between sensory information being received at the feet via thin underfoot, but not too thin where you can cut up your feet. And I really think the MR Elites, which are built for all weather conditions, put you on a better path for good protection while still being able to harness sensory feedback to your mechanical advantage. In fact, the MR Elites is why Vibram was selected as the official footwear sponsor for the Warrior Dash. The Spyridon MR Elite is the Spyridon LS and the Komodo Sport, which are both Vibram's endurance trail minimalist running shoes. The MR Elite is these shoes on steroids, because the MR Elite has more tread, has more protection on the upper, and the armor of the MR Elite fits higher up the ankle, making it better for keeping out trail debris. So the MR Elite is great for running, walking, or trekking through deep bush while unaltering foot ground interactions. The MR Elite has better rock protection than the Vibram KSOs, better than the Vibram Treks. The MR Elites breathe less than the Vibram KSOs, so the MR Elites is a better choice for running in the winter. Aside from running, the MR Elites is the perfect hiking minimalist running shoe. They handle well in slippery, wet conditions with having a water-resistant upper. One of the biggest benefits of the shoe is that they grip well on wet, rocky surfaces as well as wet grass. The upper of the MR Elite has a Velcro cuff that keeps mud out. The MR Elites may look super thick and heavy. They may look a little clunky like the traditional trail running shoe, but the MR Elites are a true Vibram running shoe with having a 5mm thin rubber outsole, which is an excellent sensory feedback accelerator, giving you better opportunity to feel every step that cannot be felt as clearly in the traditional running shoe. This is how the Vibram relates to good running form, which is essential for running safely, especially when you are running on rugged trails that are very uneven and have lots of tripping hazards. The MR Elites are incredibly lightweight. They weigh between, well, depending on the size, they weigh between 5.49 ounces to 7.45 ounces. The strapping system of the MR Elites keeps your foot from sliding around in the shoe, especially when the shoe is wet. The MR Elites fits even more securely when paired with toe socks. But the lining inside the MR Elites is super comfy, so you can wear these shoes comfortably without toe socks. The toe sockets are one of Vibram's greatest attributes, which helps you set out to take more balanced steps and retain strong toes. I love the flexible toe sockets of the MR Elites. Your foot doesn't feel boxed in, which means better foot range of motion, and this is where walking and running stability derives from. When your foot isn't restrained from moving and functioning naturally, it becomes more agile, more resilient, more injury-proof in these shoes in the Vibram MR Elites. Recessive foot motions provides a better, more stable platform on the trails for a safer and productive experience. And this is what I really love about the Spyridon MR Elites. At its core, the Vibram Spyridon MR Elites is an extension of the human foot, providing lots of armored protection and promotes improvements in running form by getting you closer to the ground, helping you put your running mechanics into perspective. You are in the right realm to run properly and encourages better movement behaviors. When it comes to endurance trail running, the better answer to less injury is wearing less under your foot. The MR Elites is a more effective approach than any other alternative, aside from actually running barefoot. Adding more protection, however, under your foot via the traditional running shoe blocks your natural connection with the ground and suppresses good mechanics. Traditional running shoes simply drive runners to heel strike and run more recklessly with blurred strike awareness. In the MR Elites, natural connection with the ground is heightened, and the mechanical scale is easily tipped more towards forefoot striking the proper way. So if you've enjoyed this review, you'll love my other barefoot running shoe reviews over on at my blog, runforefoot.com. And you can also hit the subscribe button to get other thorough and honest reviews on forefoot running shoes. Thanks for listening and watching. Have fun out there on the roads. Bye for now.